Vicksburg to our village council regular session at 7 p.m. Monday, June 2nd, 2025. So I'll call this meeting to order. Can you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just take a quick moment of silence. If you would, please, yes, for all those silent people at the end. If you do roll call, please, Christian.
Trustee Fields.
Here.
Trustee Wagner. Here. Trustee Reister.
Here.
Trustee Cox. Trustee Kissinger.
Here.
President Pro Tem Keller.
Here.
President Frisbee.
Here.
Delay.
We have a full house. So we have an agenda in front of us. Mr. Mallory, were there any changes and additions?
No.
Any council member additions? Hearing none, so entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Support.
It's your choice. All those in favor, say aye, or?
Aye.
Those opposed? We have an agenda in front of us. We have no scheduled appearances, and I'm seeing no public officials. It's time for citizens' comments on the agenda item. Seeing none. President's comments. I'll just ask the village clerk to add to our next agenda a village manager, Mr. Mallory, review. And that's it. So we have a consent agenda in front of us of our regular meeting minutes of May 19, 2025, warrant reports and event requests for the Village Old Car Festival. Is there any corrections or comments? I just want to emphasize the organizers have been informed that there is a $75 per mobile vendor per our recent addition to our policies and procedures. So you entertain an approval of our consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve.
Trustee Wagner, I support.
We have motion and support. We do a roll call, please, Christian.
Trustee Kissinger.
Yes.
Trustee Reister.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Fields.
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller.
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. So we have some action items in front of us tonight. Our 11A is the contract waste collection for the village facilities.
Yes, give a shout out. We had Christian Wines solicit bids, as it's been a bit since we've done that for village-wide services. We had two organizations submit bids, reference the waste collection or at our facilities. So Village Hall, DPW, and the like. This is, staff is recommending the motion, support, and approval be given to the village manager to enter into a contract with Republic Services, which will begin July 1st of 2025, so it's a 25-26 fiscal year, but we can start that process. And throughout the year, this is a savings of $3,000 to the village over the previous contract with another company, so.
Who was the other company? Is it Best Way that was in our packet?
Yes.
Okay.
I will highlight, I have sent the information to College Hunks for the village-wide, requesting them for the month of September, and I anticipate presenting that before the end of the month, but I'm waiting to hear back from them. But that does nothing to do with this. This is us as customers with.
Right.
So
Do they? Support.
We have motion and support. Any comments or discussion?
When we got these bids, do either the Best Way or the Republic, do they offer the opportunity to do that junk pickup?
Well, the only situation we found, we didn't solicit that within the bid is, because this is only us as customers. So the bins that are in the containers here at DPW and the rec park or the historic village has some, the golf course. So that's all this is us this is our cost to have our waste picked up at our buildings and facilities. It's, but in previous conversations I've had with both companies, both of them independently told me that they're getting away from that, and the only way that they have it with some communities is there's the sole provider for the entire community. So it's part of a contract structured like that.
Yeah, that's been the case the last few times we've inquired about it. They want it, and that has come in front of this council in this village probably 15, 20 years ago. And, you know, it's a difficult one to, you know, my conservative and a little bit of libertarian in there is like, no, I'll pick my vendor and I can fire him if I want. But if you look at it from the big picture, what it does, it reduces traffic in the community by what, a number of 2 vehicles perhaps, in the days of the week they're running through, and the wear and tear on our streets. So it, you know, there's positives to looking at a village-wide sole provider.
If there's an opportunity, I'd be interested in exploring that.
Here,
just
here.
at least for informative purposes, because I agree with what you stated, and we've revisited it when I was in the HOA in Centennial to help alleviate traffic and congestion and things like that, so.
In Centennial, there are 3 services that come through.
Yeah.
Republic, Waste Management, and Best Way. All 3 come through.
Not to
every
mention,
week
I
on a
would,
different day.
I would be curious to know, I mean, if a village the size of what we are, I mean, I would have to think that there would be some kind of financial benefit to the customers as well if it were to be.
Yep.
I understand both sides of this coin, but I do like the less traffic. I mean, I have those trucks go by my house and I'm on a dead-end street a few times a week, so.
We certainly can do our best, and my mind's thinking about what we have. But I would think that we could put together the information with the goal being at the September meeting to present it.
Yeah.
You know, as an informational, educational type
Absolutely.
thing. And then
Yep.
upon hearing that, if the council desires us to look deeper and wider into it, move from there.
I know that this year I called my provider because they had raised it quite a bit. And so if it's going to be cheaper for us, yeah, I think it would be worth looking into, so.
We need to make sure we give adequate public input though.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Just really looking at it from an informational standpoint to see if the basis is there. Jim, is that just an effort of staff, or should we have a motion for support of that activity? Just,
It's whatever you desire. I've committed to it. Well, if there's information we gather that it's gonna take longer than September, I'll report back. But I look at trying to find out communities our size that have a sole proprietor, what their experience has been.
Okay.
So.
thank you.
Yeah, good discussion, and thank you for that, Jim and staff. I've totally lost track of where we were at, darn it.
Now we're at
Motion and support.
Yeah, there's motion and support.
My motion is no supported.
Yeah, we did have motion and support. That was a discussion, absolutely. So if you do roll call, please, Christian.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Fields. Yes. Trustee Kissinger.
Yes.
Trustee Reister.
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller.
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. So item B is our 2025-2026 full-year budget approval. First, we're going to look at the brownfield budget.
Yes, and staff's recommend a motion, support, and roll call vote for approval of the proposed brownfield budget for 25-26 fiscal year. The brownfield board did unanimously approve that budget at their meeting at 6:30. And be happy to answer any questions.
So moved.
Support.
We have motion and support. Any further discussion? As we were all here for the brownfield meeting. Hearing none, we'll entertain a roll call, please, Christian.
Trustee Reister.
Yes.
Trustee Fields. Trustee Kissinger.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller,
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. And part of our 2025, 2026 full-year budget approval, something I'm pretty excited about is Jim's proposing a new leadership positions, and I'll let him go into the details.
Yeah, if, how the board wishes, but, first to talk about the administrative budget, village clerk department, the treasurer, and municipal buildings. If we can do it all together, I can highlight it, or we can do it separate. The one I wanted to point out, the recommendation will maybe, be the 16th, certainly no later than the 23rd on on employee compensation. I will share that really focused in on, it's landing right at about the 3.25%. Gonna bring forth, possibly the second year of, contributing, dollars to HSA. We'll go into detail in one of the next two council meetings on that. I wanted to highlight, though, in looking at the advancement of responsibilities as well as other municipalities, above what that 3.25%, looking at readjusting the village clerk's pay up to $30 an hour. Now that would be the total, it wouldn't be 3.25 above the 30, but I wanted this board to be aware that, and I've documented it under that department, is a percentage higher wage, but it's more in alignment with the position's responsibilities and looking at, it would also still include Christian's continuing to work on his master's degree and a 50% reimbursement on that. We encourage him to continue that educational path. But everything else in these are in alignment of what those departments were the last few years. So I wanted to highlight that under village clerk for the board, and then answer any questions you might have on the summaries provided within the packet.
Well, we have them all in front of us, itemized from the customer service rep, the data entry position, the village clerk, and the village treasurer. The staff is asking of us to approve this recommendation for funding to the payroll budget.
So moved.
Support.
We have motion and support. Let's have some discussion if it's time. Well, hearing none, I'm thinking everybody's pretty on board with the allocation of funding for these representative roles. I do appreciate the motivation, the drive to retain. We've got a talented group of individuals that work for this community, and it's in our best effort to keep them here as long as we possibly can. So we have a motion to support, and hearing no further discussion, do a roll call, please, Christian.
Trustee Fields,
Yes.
Trustee Kissinger.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Reister,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller,
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. So now I can cross off that. That
right.
takes us to item
Yeah, as President Frisbee alluded to, I really spent some time how to enhance the village of Vicksburg and our goals and expectations to be a progressive community that's foundation is service. So I am proposing the creation of a leadership assistant to the village manager. It will be an executive management position, full-time, and the role is essential to supporting the village's growing portfolio of services and initiatives, particularly as it relates to the ongoing management of key community assets and increased coordination needs across departments and stakeholders. Primary responsibility will be the leadership of Angels Crossing Golf Club, representing the village of Vicksburg. It's during the golf season. While the golf course and clubhouse are open to the public, the leadership position will serve as the lead operator of Angels Crossing Golf Club, responsible to ensure the highest standards of experience, quality of golf course, food and beverage operation, and customer service are met. It's including overseeing day-to-day operations, supervising seasonal staff, managing vendor relationships, ensuring high-quality customer service, and working within the established budget to maximize performance and community impact. We, since 2018, have had Renaissance Golf Management as a partner in the operations at Angels Crossing, and I'm happy and proud to announce that will continue in a capacity in the future as well. I believe we'll be able to be in a position to be in front of the council on the specifics of that relationship within this month. But there is incredible value in Renaissance Golf Management, and specifically Tom Ham, of what he's brought, and I want that to be recognized, and the appreciation and gratitude extended to him in that. But we also, I see the value, the extreme value in having a leadership position that is an executive manager for the village of Vicksburg on site day to day and carrying out the values that we would expect to be carried out in a division within the village. Now, the year-round, obviously we don't golf year-round in Michigan, but this executive position would have a variety of administrative and strategic functions in support of the village manager, which includes serving as a downtown communication coordinator to build consistent, proactive relationships with business, community partners, and civic groups, providing administrative and strategic support to the Planning Commission and Downtown Development Authority, assisting with grant writing, reporting, and management to secure and maintain vital external funding, undertaking special projects and operational support duties as directed by the village manager. I think the justification is the village of Vicksburg continues to experience increased activity, visibility, and expectations in both its public-facing amenities and internal operations. Angels Crossing Golf Club, in particular, has grown in complexity and importance as a revenue-generating and community-enhancing asset. Simultaneously, downtown revitalization efforts, planning activities, and grant opportunities demand focused and consistent attention that stretches the current leadership capacity. Creating this executive leadership position to the village manager will ensure continuity and excellence in golf course operations during peak months, expand the village's capacity for effective communication and engagement with downtown stakeholders, provide valuable administrative support and leadership capacity year-round, enhance the village's ability to pursue and manage all funding opportunities that come our way. This strategic investment in leadership will enable the village of Vicksburg to more effectively manage its assets, respond to community needs, and advance long-term goals under the direction of the village manager. I've included the compensation package, salary and benefits, what area they would be around, and what funds they would come from, and that's basically divided upon a typical golf season. So 65% from Angels Crossing, with the remaining coming out of the 15% out of general fund, and then supporting propriety funds that would make up the balance. But I'd be happy to answer any questions from the council.
Well, we have a request in front of us to approve the year-round support to the village manager, approval of a new leadership position. What's his council's desire?
Trustee Wagner, I'll make that motion.
Kissinger, second.
So we have motion support and some discussion time.
Jim, did you have offhand what the dollar amount was for the Renaissance contract that we would be eliminating? in
We
round
haven't.
numbers?
No,
Or does that-
historically, I know it, but haven't finalized
Okay.
it. But I'm sure Tom Ham and I will work out a fair package that will continue their relationship.
Well, and I just bring that up just for the trustees to consider that it is 65% funded through that, and then with the offset of, excuse me, whatever that reduction in contract cost is offset into this, funding this position as well, so whatever.
Yeah, to the bottom line of Angels, I assure you, it will not be close to being the same amount. So. Meaning it's not putting, if I can say it better, there'll be no additional financial liabilities put on the golf course than currently are. In fact, I believe there'll be less.
It might be less.
And that's where I was going.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's it for my comment, thank you.
Any further comments, questions, discussion? If not, hearing none, entertain a motion. Roll call, please. We have motion support.
Trustee Fields,
Yes.
Trustee Kissinger,
Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller,
Yes.
Trustee Reister,
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. Well, that takes us to our village manager report.
Yes, I just wanted to update, the council received communication from me earlier this week on a situation that we had at Main Street and South Street involving a sewer issue, basically a pipe that dates back to the 1940s, had a joint problem. I would like to publicly recognize Balkema Excavating for immediately responding the following day in addressing the issue. It has been corrected by a new pipe installed and should alleviate any of those problems in the future of that section of the system. There is top gravel that is in that intersection now. We have contacted the company that was awarded the contract to mill 4 inches of Michigan and repave it. So we'll have that section repaved during when Michigan Avenue is repaved. And with that, just about an hour ago, I spoke to the drain commissioner who is moving forward on Wilson Street, and we hope the timing of that is relatively soon, and we'll make sure that that's repaved during our paving season with that same company as well. So he is moving forward on the Wilson Street situation. The project is we did put formal notice to the contractor on the project. We did extend back in January the timeliness of completion of the project due to some weather-related situations we faced in December and January. We also requested or provided them a 2-week commitment to have the project finished north of the middle school, which we anticipate having done. And I know they brought in topsoil, so we should see yards start to be restored. There will be a retainage payment held back to ensure that the restoration is to the satisfaction of our residents and especially in the village staff. So that project we should see closed certainly before July 1st and hopefully before June 20th. I did provide a summary of the most recent update of the Housing Improvement Grant Program. And you can see in red some of the additional investments that we'll be making in, I think, 4 or 5 residents. We met with Brian Penny, Christian, and I and approved that, and we received actually some of the quote or proposals today from contractors, but we'll be moving to close that program out. So be happy when it's done, but knowing that the full, I think total $500,000 was invested here in 2.5 construction seasons. So we're well ahead of the pace we thought, and I think it's for a municipality our size, an incredible program that we went through. I'll conclude with, it's another summer, so the Berg Days, this is a calendar season in which the Berg Days is prior to the car festival. So it starts a week from Wednesday on June 11th, 5:15 to 8:30, bands on Prairie Street and Main Street, a host of family activities. A shout out to the Vicksburg Chamber of Commerce. They came through to commit funding to ensure the Vicksburg Arts programming will be a part of it throughout the summer, and we look forward to it. So that's my report, and again, happy to answer any questions.
Did you get a schedule for the nonprofits yet?
No.
Tree committee's waiting too.
Well, the tree committee can come any week that you want.
Oh,
All right.
They can have week one.
Huh?
They can have week one.
Week one. Would you like week one, June 11th?
Yeah, I'll have to talk, okay. June 11th. No, I don't want it because I'm gonna be too busy then
Okay.
with the books
All
sale.
right.
No, a little later, I think would be better.
No. We meet Monday next week.
Couldn't get into a battle here
Yeah, right.
amongst the nonprofits.
I'm too tired to fight.
And in this corner,
The only thing I request is you let me know as soon as you can. because-
Christian, remind me to lock down
I-
these
I will.
nonprofits tomorrow, would you?
Okay. Our last meeting for the summer is next week. That's what I'm saying.
Ooh.
Gotta get ready for the B&B.
Exactly.
I was too busy watching the replays of Western Michigan University's hockey team winning the national championship. So I apologize.
What do you
I
like, the 85
apologize.
Bears? You're gonna live this for the next 30
I didn't
years.
know they did. That's exciting.
that's good.
That is,
Oh, you guys, all right, let's get focused here.
that is exciting.
Takes us to committee reports. Any updates from trees?
Just the fact that we're in the process now of planting again.
That's pretty exciting. Parks and Rec.
Gotcha.
Cats. Cats is something I would, if anybody wants further information, I would really encourage that you go to CAT's website, KATSMPO.org. They approved their treasury report, their technical committee report, which I believe Mr. Mallory sits on, and in their minutes from their last meeting. There was an update on unified work agreements. We are not part of that, so there was no status report updates on the village there, but there was an update, and the bridge in Augusta is done. I don't know if we'll hear about that ever again, but success. I think it's the Planning Commission.
Next week? Be next week.
And the sewer, there was no really legit updates. There was Village of Schoolcraft has got an active project as we are. They're focused on their lead line remediation and their water well program. St. Joe County, in regards to the wastewater treatment plant, there was no updates on that. They did have on UV Avenue, a failure of their main sewer line, and it was dug up and replaced, and they filed a claim with their insurance company, and it was denied because it's subrogation underground, so that is ongoing. And do we have a fire update?
Yes, we do. We had a fire board meeting after our last meeting. One thing that we did do, we purchased a different command vehicle. The vehicle we had was not only nickel and diming us, but it was $20 and $100, and it was soaking us pretty good. This is a 2020 unit from Comstock Township. It was used for fire marshal duties only. It wasn't on active calls, but it's fully outfitted. Miles were not bad at all. It was $25,000. that we paid for the unit. So fortunately, we'll be able to extend the life on a command vehicle now for the next, hopefully, 4 or 5 years. Moving forward with we met, actually, President Frisbee sat in for me, met with the new attorney, a couple weeks ago on a Zoom meeting, and so that's proceeding forward. We have an executive committee, for lack of a better term. It's myself, the chair, and the secretary, and we're kind of spearheading the reorganization. So that's moving forward. There was emailed out a questionnaire that President Frisbee, myself, and Manager Mallory will be working on that I'll present at our 16th meeting to get any more input from the council that you'd like to see on the questionnaire. This is going out to all the entities, also the 2 that are leaving, just so we can kind of get a full spectrum on things. We have a work session tomorrow night. So as I said, things are starting to ramp up quickly. So the attorney's going to be involved. We'll have Jeff Rude, who is the gentleman who has been doing the audits for the last X number of years, several years. He is going to be assisting us with the financials with the authority. We did approve the audit at the last meeting, just so you know. The reason why it's not in front of you is because we were informed that that was just a courtesy that the authority had to give to the entities that didn't need approval. It's already been sent into the state. There were no major issues with the audit, other than there was a couple clerical things that Jeff Rude had made the comment about, but it kind of shook out at the bottom line. Said our fund balance looked pretty good. But obviously, with 2 entities leaving, we're going to have to take a serious look at our funding and where we're going to be going. So, and we will have a fire board meeting in a couple weeks. So,
Yeah, I was very impressed with the leadership, the legal team that you guys have gone out and put up. They were very, very concise and consistent and knew exactly your expectations and next steps. So that was a good meeting. With that, I'll not ask for citizens' comments. I'm seeing none. Trustees' time. We'll start with Mr. Kissinger.
I'm excited about Burke Days. In a week and 2 days, my family and I will be attending. And then the movie in the park redo, we'll be excited to go to that too as well, hopefully. So that is all.
Thank you. Trustee Fields.
Nothing tonight.
Trustee Wagner.
Just a happy birthday to our son tomorrow, his first birthday. So, happy birthday, Nolan.
Trustee Reister.
All set.
President Pro Tem Keller.
not going to call me Sparky. Apologize for the attire tonight. I had a T-ball game before the meetings tonight, so that's why I'm wearing the Vicksburg Finest Little League shirt. So, been enjoying that after 30 years, coming back and working with kids again. It's been fun. Also looking forward to the Berg Days starting back up. Are we going to have the designated council people again, or is that?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It'll be set up for that.
I called
Yeah.
it designated survivor when we did it before,
We'll,
but.
we'll, we'll do that, and I will send out a list of everybody's attendance, and if you can't make that date, it's up to you to find somebody to swap with. Fair enough?
Yep.
All right. No, I appreciate that. You know, I'll be in that corner, and I'll have the nonprofits in this corner, and
Can we get shirts? I think year
Well,
one
we
we had
got
shirts.
shirts.
I don't have a shirt though. I'm a newbie. you know.
give you mine.
I wear
Can we-
Hawaiian shirts.
I don't know if by the 11th, but we will. They'll be polo style. Hopefully, eventually, the branding will all make that, but we'll use our contacts at Angels to create a Village of Vicksburg. So, thanks.
Can I vie for a Hawaiian style at some point? Button down.
you look like Carl Keller. So real quick, I just wanted to thank Jim and the staff and of course Kalamazoo County for the funding that we got for the housing and assistance program, you know, just for everyone's view. These are the applications and what we've done so far year to date. As Jim said, we've spent almost $500,000 helping people in need in the community, so quite a proud thing. And happy birthday, Nolan Wagner. And hearing any further, and I have nothing more to say, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.